Isn't it about time that people got off Clive Palmer's back? I mean, geez, he's a great Australian, just giving, enhancing jobs and improving the economy, keeping a close eye on the government.
Well, he's a billionaire who is, could be just essentially living off his money, but he's gone to Canberra and he's working hard for the Australian people. At what point do we pull ourselves up?
Okay, let's return to reality.
Yeah, that's
what
right.
the hell is Clive Palmer doing to this country?
Yeah. Well, the truth is, his senators have been elected by a system of voting for the upper house that I've thought, and a lot of people have thought for a long time, is broken. No one's prepared to do anything about it because it's benefited the major parties. Suddenly, these people have gamed the system and have got this position now in the upper house, and we are living with a very, very awkward situation where this bloke is going to be grandstanding for as long as he and his senators are there, and that's going to be for the next 6 years.
So last week we saw his staggering backflip on repealing the carbon tax legislation. Now, over the weekend, there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and David Leyonhjelm, the Liberal Democrat senator who's only just recently joined the Senate as well. He's been working a lot behind the scenes with the government. It looks as though they have got to the point where they'll be able to repeal the carbon tax during this week. Parliament rises on Thursday night and it takes a 6-week break, so they need to get that through for the budget's sake. He's saying, even David Leyonhjelm though, and he's had plenty of dealings with the Palmer United senators already, is saying he's perplexed by Clive Palmer, doesn't quite know what he stands for and what he represents. He spoke to us this morning on the program, and in a way he was criticising Palmer for his unpredictability.
Well, the interesting thing about it is that he was a little bit reluctant because his power in the Senate derives from teaming up with others. So in the end, his position, he's got a loose arrangement with Bob Day, the South Australian, but to have any power, you've got to line up with others. So that will be with the Palmer United people. So he's a bit reluctant to criticise. The government won't say what they really think of Clive Palmer publicly. You've got the Labor Party won't say it either. So this bloke who's got very severe financial difficulties, he's got a very, very patchy track record financially, and some real questions now being asked about his business dealings, and yet no one in Canberra is prepared to put their hand up and address any of that because they're terrified that the position he has in the Senate is going to come back to bite them.
And surely these are the sort of questions that should be raised under parliamentary privilege, where you can have a real inquiry going on, but everyone is just tiptoeing around the elephant in the room, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I mean, from Tony Abbott's point of view, it's a nightmare, because if the elephant in the room, you like that line, don't you?
I do, actually.
If the elephant in the room keeps pushing and pushing, the difficulty for Tony Abbott is, does he go to a double dissolution to try to clear the air, where Clive Palmer can get senators elected for half the quota? If it's in a double dissolution, then you have it a half Senate election. Do you then, during the election campaign, go hell for leather against him to try and turn the public against him, knowing that if he gets back in with his senators and the control, he won't forget? He will not forget, because the truth, as we know, is the reason he's gone into politics and is doing what he's doing is because he fell out with Campbell Newman. This is all a revenge attack on Campbell Newman.
So they always say that you get the politicians you deserve, but I reckon in this case, we haven't.
We don't. No, it's the system's broken and unfortunately has produced this mess.